A Cincinnati native is preparing to take the big stage next month with hopes of winning the title of Miss Ohio. In today's Breaking Through, Fox 19's Amber Jayanth tells us about the nonprofit work she's doing now that's inspiring many around her.
Lucabella LaEace is currently juggling a lot of titles, from a college student at Thomas More to a local title holder, author, the founder of a nonprofit as well. It's all keeping her busy, but it's all helping her focus on one mission: to raise awareness on mental health and suicide prevention.
We're going to Miss Ohio!
It's always an exciting show as contestants across the state grace the stage to compete for the title of Miss Ohio. Lucabella LaEace has been competing in pageants since she was 13 years old.
My dad has called me Miss America since I was little, not even knowing that I could ever compete in the program. But I grew up dancing and being in theater, and I wanted a place to sing and to dance.
She says being on the stage not only allows her the chance to perform, but it also gives her the opportunity to talk about an issue that's been close to her heart since she was a young girl.
I lost my grandpa to suicide when I was 10 years old. And at the time, nobody was really talking about mental health, and my family lived in a silence surrounding suicide. We were scared to talk about it. My grandpa was scared to ask for help. He lived with depression for 20 years before he died, until he ultimately took his own life. I struggled with it for a long time and wondering, why weren't we enough? Why was my family not enough for him to want to live for? In learning more about mental illness and mental health, my family has come to realize that depression is truly an illness, and suicide is just the final symptom.
Lucabella says her healing came from volunteering with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and the National Alliance on Mental Health. She says the more she talked and learned about it, the grief became easier to process. It even had an influence in her enrolling at Thomas More University.
I also never would have imagined that the loss of my grandpa would have directed my career path. So I went into nursing school because I want to be a mental health nurse in the future.
She was also inspired to write this book, More Than Sad, to help educate children about emotions and asking for help, while also creating a nonprofit called Let's Talk, Let's Listen, ending the silence around suicide to improve mental health awareness in healthcare settings.
I also want to do advocacy work to change the rules around mental health and change the narrative. I've been working with some of our Ohio representatives and our legislators on Senate Bill 138. And that currently talks about how to expand behavioral health care. Right now, when you leave a psychiatric facility for an inpatient stay, you don't have a lot of guidance on how to reacclimate to the world. I want to see myself working on this in the future and making real changes for the entire United States.
Senate Bill 138 passed unanimously on May 7th and is now working its way through a House committee. In the meantime, Lucabella is preparing to take the stage at Miss Ohio in Mansfield in June. Amber Jayanth, Fox 19 Now.